I'll be watching Mark and Jack on their trip to Denver.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us to watch Mark and Jack on their tour to Denver.
Denver, Colorado. And why? Because we are hot for buttons.
We're watching Mark and Jack on their trip to Denver.
The legacy of Huntley and Brinkley. I will be following Mark and Jack to Denver.
I'll be watching Mark and Jack on the way to Denver.
For this year's political news, I don't need CNN, I don't need Fox. I'm going to tune in to YouTube for Mark and Jack.
Brent Swindoll here, welcoming everybody to the Denver YouTube.
I'll be watching Mark and Jack on their trip to Denver.
I'll be watching Mark and Jack on their road trip to the Democratic National Convention in Denver.
I'll be watching Mark and Jack on the way to Denver because they're guys you have to keep your eyes on.
I'm going to watch Mark and Jack on their trip to Denver.
Jack is paying me $5 to tell you that I wouldn't miss watching his show with Mark on the way to Denver. And he didn't even have to pay me. I might have paid him because it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm hot for buttons, and Mark and Jack are the button gods. The only way to go anywhere else.
I'm going to be watching Mark and Jack on their road trip to Denver, and I want to know, are you going to be watching them too?
I am going to be watching Mark and Jack on their way to Denver, primarily because Mark is the only man in the United States who can bring buttons everywhere and have something different that no one's ever seen. So see him in Denver.
I'm hot for buttons.
I'm hot for buttons.
I'm hot for buttons.
Hey, I am hot for buttons, and I'm hot for Mark Evans. Mark, meet me on Pinback Mountain.
Well, I'm hot for buttons, and I'm looking forward to seeing Jack and Mark go across this country. I'm not quite sure it's big enough to handle the two of them, but if it will, they can do it. All right.
Hi, I'm hot for buttons, and I'm looking forward to seeing Mark and Jack on their way to Denver for the Democratic Convention.
I'll be watching Mark and Jack on their trip to Denver, and I'm hot for buttons.